Oh, that's a Nintendo Switch on your background there. What's going on with that? Whoa. Wow. Tell me, whoa, that's a bit. Whoa, there's a Lego Speed Racer there. What's that mean? Oh, kind of funny how. What's that mean? Fucking looking at your bookshelf for clues these days.
Should start just moving shit around for fun.
Yeah. Anyway, so tell us about Critical Role. Fucking.
Here was the thing. I went to. It was good. It was yeah.
I just want you to know that it popped up on social media, man. Ashton Corn. I go, this motherfucker's got Critical Role. Didn't even bother telling anyone if he was going. Just keeps everything a secret.
To be fair, I feel like he mentioned that his sister bought tickets.
I think I have told you guys. It was a while ago. It was like Christmas. It was like I got them for Christmas. But I was there with 11,000 nerds watching Critical Role. Wednesday night. It was a good time. It was a great time. It was the whole cast there. It was some good shit. It was.
How long was it?
They actually started at 6:30 and they went through till just before 11 it finished. So good 4.5 hours?
Was
probably
like
half
watching,
an hour of that.
Was it just like watching the
100%.
Yeah. Was it a one shot?
Yeah, it was. So they did a one shot that was like so they did two shows, one in Sydney, one in Melbourne. They did a one shot that had like two different groups at the same time, going through two different events. One group was the Sydney group, the other group was the Melbourne group. I think that the Melbourne one was probably better because our story wrapped up the whole thing and kind of finished it off and explained some things.
So it was a two shot, really.
Yeah, it was a two shot. Really.
So did they do a recap then, or like?
No, because you didn't. For us,
and then the people in Sydney never got to finish. Like
that's the thing. That's the thing for Sydney, and I don't know because I haven't seen Sydney. So Sydney's like end would have had like an end. They would have beat like a boss fight, but it was pretty much so they took. There was the two campaign parties of campaign 2 and campaign 3. They mixed up the characters. They did one group of the mixed characters for Sydney and then a different group of the mixed characters for Melbourne. And I guess the spoilers for anybody who's going to watch it or anything like that.
Did they record it?
Yes, they did. Yeah, it was in cinemas in America.
Whoa.
They were like putting it in cinemas because it was the part of the 10-year anniversary event.
That's wild.
So there was kind of the first group was like in the physical world and the second group was in the spirit world. And they were, doing some Avatar shit pretty much.
Yeah.
Really is the best way to describe it. But no, it was amazing. Like, it was so good to see them interact with the crowd, to have all the original cast there was phenomenal. It was really good, really enjoyable. Some good shit.
Much fan interaction with something like that, or is it just you're sitting there like watching the?
No, there's lots of like cheering and like the crowd like is like yelling different things and laughing at different things, and they all did shoeies at the end, and which actually just minor thing. They all did shoeies at the end, but whoever the fuck organized this, whichever person at Rod Laver or whoever promoter organized this, gave them VB. And I was like, that's horrid. Yeah. Why would you do that?
Because I guess it's like considered a super Aussie beer. But
it's
also a
fucking
super Aussie beer
disgusting.
That no Aussie
drinks because it's gross. Yeah. VB is foul out of all of the... You could have just gone with some Carlton Dries. Easily. Could have just gone with some Carlton Dries and it would have been good. Would have been fine. Would have been okay. But no. Yeah. So I felt so bad for them. A fun thing happened when we got in was our tickets were on my sister's phone. We scan in. Literally, I go from the door at Rod Laver to the toilet and back out, maybe 2 minutes tops. I come back out to it. She's visibly panicking. I'm like, the fuck is going on? And she goes, I've lost my phone. I don't know where it's gone. I literally just had it. I've lost my phone. Oh. All of a sudden,
you merchants are on.
Help, Dave.
I was like, how the fuck do you use the phone? Like, it's literally you walk from there to here. How? And then we got like a one of like the event staff was like, oh, noticed and like went over to go check. And then I'm just like, is that in your handbag? He's like, yep. Yeah, it's in my handbag. I forgot I brought it. It's right there. And I was like, fucking margins, man.
Yeah. There's literally only one capable in your family. Like,
yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Jeez.
Like,
fuck's sake.
How disappointed is your dad in both his children?
Fucking hell. Wild.
No, that's good. It was just 2 of you, so.
Yeah, just the 2 of us. Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, it was great. It was like
intermission or what? Like,
yeah, it was like a 20-minute intermission. The thing, so you know what's very different to when we've been there recently, which was they had like, because obviously Dylan, when we were especially there for CS, right? The event was kind of, they had intermissions, but like people were coming and going whenever they felt like it. I've never been to a Rod Laver event that is sold out, 11,000 people, that is like intermission and then like everybody's out, back out the front, out like getting a drink.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of fun. It's a fucking crumb. Like it is people everywhere. I had already like at one point, because I was thirsty, like I dipped out and just grabbed a drink and like went and saw the merch table and stuff. But yeah, it was good.
Buy anything?
Yeah, I bought a dice.
Merch.
Just like $35. One die. Yeah, it was like a big die. It's like a big rock die. Well, that's yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's weird they did it. Was there a reason they did it at Rod Laver? Like, because like technically it's more of a, it's not really something.
I think it's just weird. The difference is, so in America, they do these live shows so regularly, they generally just use normal theaters and exhibition halls.
It's a theater show.
It's a theater. I guess when you're only doing 2 shows, you're going to want to get as many seats as viably possible for people to have the opportunity to come and see you. If you had one night only in a venue that only held like 500 to 1,000 people tops, like not going to go well. You know, it's you need that. I guess Rod Laver is as big as they could go in Melbourne, where it's like suitable enough that you're the fact that, because realistically you're just sat there watching 8 people sat at desks using their voices to tell a story, and there's not much more than that, you know. Like there's not much more than that going on visually, other than like watching the different interactions between the cast, or you know, Sam came out and was dressed as Dame Edna for the whole thing. Like
what a reference, what a pull.
Yeah. And
imagine all the Americans back in the States.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, 100%. There's also and I didn't know him. Let me quickly, just before, let me fact check. They had a host who was,
I remember they announced him, and I do know who it is, but I can't
Cardi, something Cardi, and I can't remember. Tom Cardi?
Yeah, comedian, right?
Yeah, Tom Cardi.
Comedian. Yeah, Tom Cardi, the comedian, who was the host, but then also played in the session and was there for the entire thing. And I thought was very impressive that he fit in and didn't feel out of place and didn't get buried amongst the experienced cast that was around him.
You would have seen one of his famous
what type of role, what class was he playing?
He was a bard.
He was a bard.
He was 100%.
He's
a musician, musical comedian. Yeah, no, I saw afterwards. I looked him up. Yeah, no, he was a bard. He was. Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. Good shit.
No, I remember when they announced him. I was like, that. I don't know if he plays. I was like, I don't know, no idea if he plays D&D on the side, but like that makes sense for his type of. I think that makes sense for his type of thing. Yeah, very good. So did they? What was the type of people there? Did you? Do you reckon it was a mix of people? Like I feel like Critter's fan base should.
Well,
be very,
you know what? So there was a good
varied.
There was a wide majority, of course, were people who knew. There was a good variety of people that I heard when you're like, you know, you're hearing bits and pieces of other people's conversations while you're there, who didn't know anything about it.
Oh, okay.
Even like
this is the cool thing.
Their friends or
either invited by their friends or like brought along to it. Even when I was like when I went to the merch store, because I was the only person in line at the time, the girl who served me, she's like, you know what? we've seen this like leading up in our calendar for what we've got coming up, and we were all trying to work out what the fuck it was, if it was a band or what the hell it was.
It's a bunch of people playing D&D on stage.
Yeah, or even like that's the thing. Anybody who I told who doesn't know anything about Critical Role, doesn't know anything about D&D.
It's hard.
Then I'm like, I'm going to watch people play D&D. Everybody has the same reaction. Mm. That's a board game, right? Yeah. Like it's like, well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a good night. It was very enjoyable. It's one of those things that it's like, it's. I'm glad I didn't miss it more than. Like it was just such a good spectacle to be there for, to experience Matt Mercer live, to experience the whole cast play off each other live.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's been a big success. I wouldn't be surprised if they come back. So.
Oh, they're 100% well. Yeah, no, 100%. Well,
that's good.
Give me sad Ash. You jealous?
A little bit, you know.
A little bit.
Yeah, you know. But she's going to go all the way to Sydney or Melbourne tomorrow, you know. All that effort, you know.
You need him to come to Brisbane?
No. Ash, if you were coming to Melbourne, you would go to Sydney and Melbourne because you'd have a random fucking layover.
Do you reckon you have gone if they would have done a Brisbane one, Ash?
Probably, you know, depending on ticket prices and all that kind of stuff. So,
okay, that's not a yes or no answer.
It was mostly positive. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. They've been doing their team thing for 10 years, and obviously, you know, it's them. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of actual play people who have like blown up. And, like, I don't think it's that weird if you know a lot of, like, I believe there's like a group that does it on Broadway as well, and like all this kind of stuff. So I don't think it's that weird, really. You know, maybe here in Australia we don't have many.
It's not weird. It's just a thing where it's Australia where we are behind the times and these kind
of little bit smaller. And like we don't have like a theatre culture. I don't think. You know what I mean?
We 100% have a theatre culture.
We have a theatre culture. Melbourne has a massive theatre.
Melbourne has a
massive theatre company.
Actually, I would even say that surprisingly, Launceston even has a lot of theatre culture. Like, there's a lot of stuff that happens.
Yeah, when's the last time you went to theatre?
Months ago.
Yeah, what'd you see?
I will go soon because one of the guys that works for me is studying and he's about to put on a show. So I'll go watch his. There you go.
Yeah?
Yeah, so fuck you.
Add free promo here?
No, I don't remember what it's called, so.
Clearly not a licensed show.
What do you mean a licensed show? What the fuck does that mean?
You know, like it might be like original, like small play.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
It. Yeah, he wrote
exactly. It. So it's not like fucking Book of Mormon or Wicked coming to town, you know?
No, but we had our riff on Wicked on recently. The uni here does a thing every year called the Uni Review, and it's a very like politically driven show, and they usually do a parody of a movie that was big the year before. So this year's theme was a riff on Wicked.
Yeah,
so close enough. You know what I'm saying?
No, because that's a completely different show to the one you're going to.
Yeah, just. Shut up.
What I'm saying is I don't think Australia has like a bunch of massive theaters in the
what
same way.
What you're saying is we're not
have.
New York City, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. We are not New York City. But I would still say Melbourne has a big theatre culture. Okay. Just because you don't have it up there with all your board short wearing people that don't know how to
too busy playing sports.
Yeah, too busy playing sports and hitting the beach and whatever the fuck up there in Brisbane. Down here towards the south.
You need to stay inside because it's so cold.
Yeah. So put on entertainment inside, indoors, where people wear trench coats and listen to people monologue about sadness and stuff. You know what I mean? What are you marking off over there, Ciaran? Did I just see you look up a fucking marker?
No.
He's literally doing something else.
I'm literally working at the same time as podcasting. I'm sorry, everyone.
Was that a marker though?
No, it was like just literally a piece of plastic.
Right. Okay. That's I'm fiddling with. It made more sense when I saw you fiddling around what I presumed was like a tablet or something like that.
No.
What is it?
I've got a laptop. Sorry. Yeah.
That makes more sense. Laptop. I saw that, but then I saw what I thought was a pen. I was a marker. I was a bit confused. Yeah, cool. Anyway, that's. I mean, I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about. I don't care about Ash's life because of all the bullying that he just gave to me. So, you know. So
that's fair.
So I'd leave a nice awkward silence there. You know what I just randomly what I was thinking. I was watching Barbie last night.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, which led me down this train. So I'm watching Barbie. I'm thinking Greta Gerwig. I'm thinking about upcoming projects. I'm thinking Narnia, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about how I read all those books in school. Can't remember them all super well because by school I mean primary school. And by primary school I mean like grade 5 and 6. I think I read the Narnia books. Obviously, a very, very long time. I think I might want to either read or listen to the Narnia books.
They're good shit. You just gotta like. It's very. I think the Narnia is very interesting because everybody knows Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, but it's like, in theory, I think that is the third book in the series.
Well, this is the thing, and so I reckon. Let me just because I'll pull up my phone because I was googling this before.
Because there is like the Magician's Nephew is the first one, and then there's a weird one in the middle.
My last tab. In what order should you read Narnia? Because yes, the Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe isn't the first, but I was like googling to see what people's.
But it's chronologically the first.
Yeah. So publication.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not.
Publishing the first.
Published the first, correct, yes. So the books were published in this order. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, 1950. Prince Caspian, The Return to Narnia, 1951. The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, 1952. Silver Chair, 1953. The Horse and His War, 1954. The Magician's Nephew, 1955. And The Last Battle, 1956. However, the chronological order is The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, Return to Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Silver Chair, The Last Battle. So people say here, so on this website I found, narniaweb.com, it says, for many years, both orders, hold on, so which book? The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the first book to be written and published, is generally considered the best introduction to Narnia by scholars and fans alike. Most scholars disagree with the decision to renumber the books because apparently they renumber them now and it says like 1, 2, 3, whatever, like chronologically on the site, and find it the least faithful to Lewis's deepest intentions. On the official website, C.S. Lewis, Dr. Charles W. Starr claims Lewis scholars almost universally agree that the originally published order is superior. He suggests that The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is more initially captivating than The Magician's Nephew, and that certain lines in line do not make sense when the book is not read first, and that Nephew has greater mythic power when read as a prequel. Here's my problem. I've read all these, but I only vaguely remember the general thing. So now I'm trying to decide on what order I want to do it in.
There's a lot of religious subtext.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I know.
Like a lot.
The fucking lion gets killed on a fucking tablet, right? But I'm thinking that's what I might want to do soon. I might start a Narnia. Re-listen or something. Maybe not read. I'm reading a different book on my Kindle at the moment. So, by the way, side note. Before I keep thinking about wrapping up this. Side note on top of side note. Remember I talked about that book on What Do You Want to Watch, Ash? The one about the
clowns. Yes, we know.
No. Fuck, what's it called? Hold on. I mentioned it and said this will get turned into a movie. Incel.
Yes.
Remember I talked about Incel? Anyway,
yes.
Nick messaged me a week ago and said he read that book based on how I talked about it, and he also agreed it was very fucked up but hard to put down. So shout out to Nicholas Pryor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question. So I'm looking at the Audible list of the Chronicles of Narnia books. Yeah. They're all narrated by somebody else, like by a different person each time.
Yeah, but they different.
Is that
they have
something you prefer, or?
Yeah, because I assume they're playing because they're all from a different point of view, different characters, all right? So,
you know what's big make or break, right?
Yes.
Especially is I had this with the Aragon series. Real bad, especially when you have previously read the books yourselves. Going to the audio book can be real hard because if they've made a creative decision, so for me in the Aragon series, it was like how the voice actor voiced the dragons, like how the voice he put on for those. Fucking to me, I was like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? That's not the voice I had in my head when I read.
Okay, and I was thinking, that's how it's pronounced.
No. Well, sometimes yes. There is sometimes you listen, especially when you're a fantasy reader, where you have read a name that's been made up, and you go, "Oh, this is probably how this is said," and then you listen to it, and it's like, no, Not at all, and it can be very hard to break your brain. But it's
That's fine. I feel like I don't have. It's been so long. I don't really have a voice. I guess. Did you just watch any of the movies they put out, the 2001s?
Yeah. They were like big Christmas movies in England.
I only watched the.
I think I've still the first two.
I watched the first one, and I've watched the original. I think they were straight to TV UK movies. I watched those. But I watched...
like Lionel Mitchell Wardrobe, I've watched countless times.
You talking about the original UK one? Or
No,
the
2001.
Okay, I was going to say, I've watched the original UK whatever TV one. My nan had that on a VHS wheelie. I've watched that a shit ton of times. The new one I've only watched twice.
When James McAvoy wasn't important enough, so he was just, just a fawn. What a guy. It's
That's it. This is actually a very good point. Considering, are you excited about this Narnia thing? Considering it's British heritage,
this may surprise you. I know over my history in this.
Are you going to say I didn't know they was doing a new Lionel Witch and the Wardrobe?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was still caught up on the fact that Hermione Granger's black in the new Harry Potter. You know.
What? Oh, the
new TV series.
TV series. I don't give a fuck.
Does it surprise you that I'm paying little attention to that?
No. Also, horrible. I will say, actually, the one thing I'd like to be outraged about is the casting for fucking Dumbledore. Casting's fucking horrible.
Who's playing Dumbledore?
I can't remember his name. He's been in a whole bunch of he's always like the mean stepdad in.
Oh, isn't it what's his face from Third Rock from Sun?
Yes, that is who it is.
Oh, John Lithgow?
Yes.
John Lithgow, sorry. Yeah.
Isn't John Lithgow American?
He is, correct.
It's so weird.
It is very weird. Anyway, just enough reason to not support this.
Here's my issue with the casting. The Dursleys, attractive.
No, I haven't even seen that casting. No.
Yeah. At least the casting photos they provided with the
You know who said
the dad
headshots.
You know who actually said he would have gone for Dumbledore because he's old enough now? Fucking Gary Oldman. What a casting that would have been. That would have been fucking awesome.
That'd be so good if he just kept his character from Slow Horses and did that for Dumbledore.
Oh, just do Winston Churchill as Dumbledore.
But no, we don't need to watch this.
No, you don't need to watch Harry Potter. We don't need to. No.
I'm gonna watch a movie about trans rights every week. That's what it is.
Yeah,
can I get
every instead of doing an after show for Harry Potter, we just do a review of a trans thing every single.
You know what?
That
is a very good fucking idea, actually. To be completely honest, in fucking spite of that bitch.
That's the podcast name.
In spite of that, no, but you should call it in spite of that witch.
Oh, in spite of that.
Oh, that's good.
Call it in spite of that witch.
If you have Pedro Pascal talking dirty about you, what are you doing? Like that man's, that's a nice man. If he's talking bad about you, you're on the wrong side of history. I think there.
Yeah. Pedro, a man so loved that he kind of spoils a movie.
It's true.
Breaks the point of a movie apart. People can't see what the movie's actually about. Go see Materialist.
Ash, have you been to see the F1 movie?
No, I haven't. I'm probably going to go see it tomorrow.
Okay.
I have.
Wild.
Cars Fast.
Fucking wild that Dylan has seen.
No, it's not. It's a movie.
But it's about sport.
Yeah,
did you watch the hit movie growing up, Goal?
What?
Goal was a great movie. Goal was
pretty solid.
Goal was a really good movie. Goal was like it was like a trilogy of movies.
It was a trilogy of.
It was a trilogy of movies based on football, of like English football. And
I've watched Bend It Like Becca.
No.
No. Oh.
When it was like this,
I think Bend It Like Becca's better.
But it was like, it was good.
To clarify, F1 from the director of Top Gun Maverick comes.
Oh yeah, so it's definitely, I'm guessing, shot absolutely beautifully and fucking awesomely, but terrible for the actual sport of F1. What?
What way? What do you mean?
Oh, I think it's horrible. It's so in terms of
potentially brings in new viewers. Terrible.
No, because I think it doesn't present the sport very well. Every review I've heard is apparently Brad Pitt's character literally just cheats several times throughout it,
and is because I was at my parents' last night, and my dad also is apparently reading the same shit as you. Because when I said I watched it, he went, "Apparently, it's terrible because Brad Pitt's." I was like, what?
Also, it presents the fact that Brad Pitt's character, who says he was driving around with Senna and Schumacher, which must make him over 50, means that he could fucking just jump into an F1 car and fucking be great. What the fuck? That is.
So the movie does, without fully spoiling it, obviously, it's a movie. They got to have some sort of narrative beats and whatever. So the parts that I believe that you and my dad are hinting at, that from whatever you've been reading, is there's a part early in the movie where Brad Pitt's character, to cheat, to get the fucking safety car out, purposely, accidentally hits a fucking one of those thin wooden bollards or whatever on the track to break it to get to some debris onto the track. So yes. However,
which is a legitimate thing. Legitimately. So in, I think it was, I can't remember the actual race, but there was a race that Fernando Alonso crashed his car. Oh, no, it was either Alonso or his teammate, Barrichello, I think it was. Literally crashed his car to make sure that Fernando Alonso won a world championship with Renault. And it was that's a big fucking no. It's such a bad thing for integrity.
I would say it's very silly that he does it a couple
Also,
times.
the choice of having a female race technician being the major love interest of Brad Pitt, which is, in the actual real world, female race technicians have had such a hard time trying to break into the sport and actually have equality.
She says in the movie she's the first one.
She's the first one, and that she goes and sleeps with Brad Pitt. Bruv, she wouldn't.
It's Brad Pitt, though. Most girls would want to.
Not if they've fucking been fighting on the way through, get for the respect in the paddock and trying to earn respect amongst other drivers, and probably had all this shit said about her throughout her period of time climbing up. That the only reason she's there is probably because she slept with somebody, or that she's been.
Whoa.
Well, that's the thing. That's the legitimate thing that women face.
That doesn't come up in the movie, I'll tell you right.
No, but it's like to immediately have that, to have a woman in a position of power that isn't such a thing in actual Formula One, and then for her to be actually then featured with sleeping with her driver is really fucking bad.
Yeah, there's 3 female characters in this whole movie, so they needed them somewhere. I mean, from the F1, does it portray F1 realistically sort of thing? I didn't think, obviously there's some things that are a little bit silly or whatever, but I think in the scheme of things, considering it's still a movie, I don't think that there was anything to, the fact he gets away with doing that trick a couple times in the same race is ridiculous, because obviously someone would probably call him out. There would be something, someone would figure it out, but
sorry, a couple times in the same race? What the fuck?
Yeah, he does it a couple times in the same race.
That's fucking wild. What the fuck is that?
Every time he says on the headset, he's like, "Oh, whoops, my bad."
He said, "Oh my god."
But you can tell the movie's an advertisement for F1. They do a very they make sure to over-explain things, I think, a bit on the commentary. They're like, he's switching to his hard tires now, and his tires are really warmed up. So,
fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll like it. Let's record Arcade Couch.